Hello, thank you for joining me, your friendly oilfield preacher here. If you watch any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I mentioned that Jesus Christ made everything. And this particular video is before creation. Okay, and a lot of people ask that from believers to non-believers. So what was before creation? Well, the Bible gives us information about creation and before creation. It may be limited in scope, but it gives us plenty of what we need to know. Okay, for example, in Revelation 13:8, we know of a book. Okay, if we go to that book in Revelation, it's called the Book of Life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Now, if you notice, it's talking in past tense, slain. In other words, it was already happened, from the foundation of the world. Very interesting. So together with that, okay, so there's a plan. Okay, in other words, there's a book of life, and all the believers are written down in there, from Adam to the Great Tribulation time, to the beginning and the end, the beginning of creation and the end of creation as we know it. Okay, but what else? Where else can we find information? Okay, of before creation. Let's look in Proverbs, and it's going to be Proverbs 8. Now, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to tell you that this is talking about wisdom. Okay, and even in my Bible, at the top it tells you the excellence of wisdom. That is incorrect. Wisdom in the Bible is referred to as a she. For example, here, she takes her stand on top of the high hills. Okay, she cries out at the gates, at the entry of the city. Well, because you need wisdom for what's about to take place. Okay, because it goes from a she in reference to wisdom to uh, a he, or more personal I wisdom. Okay, uh, I am understanding. By me, kings reign. This is not wisdom. Okay. To make a long story short, this is none other than our Lord Jesus Christ talking of what happened before creation, okay? And he's telling us, to you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men, okay? O you simple ones, understand prudence, and you fools, be of understanding heart. Listen, for I will speak of excellent things, and from the opening of my lips will come right things. Okay? From my mouth I will speak truth. Wisdom doesn't have a mouth. Okay? So this is our Lord Jesus Christ. And the belief that this was Jesus Christ is well understood in Christianity. It's just till recently, and I saw some stuff on it on the internet about that when it was changed. But anyway, had been a long understanding that this was Christ talking. And okay, but you only hear the old guys talking about that this is Christ. The new guys, the new don't talk. They give credit to wisdom, but no, I beg to differ. And so what happened uh, before creation? Well, I'm going to give you the Cardinals Prince summation. All right, and you can go read through it. But these are just short videos that I want to create. Um, But this is very cool. On 9, a lot of people think that the Bible's complicated and boring, but look at verse 9. They are all plain to him who understands, and right to those who find knowledge. Okay, so for a lot of people say the Bible is hard to understand, his words are all plain. Okay, now there are some studying to do, just like anybody that studies any discipline needs to do some research and study. You go to be a rocket scientist. You're gonna have to do some studying. It's probably a lot more difficult than studying Proverbs here, but this is a lot more rewarding. But anyway, the topic is what happened before creation. So we know there's a book in Revelation called um, uh, the Book of Life of the Lamb slain before the foundations of the world, which is reference to Christ. Okay, well, this is what happened. The Father, Jesus is telling us here. Uh, let's see here. I was brought forth, and he repeats that several times. I was brought forth. Well, who brought him forth? The Father. Okay, and you have some group of people telling you uh, that everlasting is the Father. Okay, and they understand that this is Jesus Christ talking, and they'll say, "I have been established from the Father." No, from everlasting. Jesus Christ is telling you He's always existed. It's the same thing that He's telling you in John 1, where the Word was with God and the Word was God. He was there in the beginning. He's telling you the same thing. But this is even deeper. Now He's telling you not only from the beginning of creation, all right? Now He's telling you, I've been established from everlasting. In other words, He's always existed. And this is Jesus Christ we're talking about. He's telling us He's always existed. Okay? And since He always existed, okay, before there was ever an earth, okay? See that? Before any depths, I was brought forth. Okay? Before the mountains were settled, I was brought forth. So, what happened? Basically, the Father instructed Jesus, "Hey, come here. Like you have a son. I have three sons. Hey, come here. We're gonna build this shack, or we're gonna build a shed, or we're gonna build it." And I asked him to come with me. Come here. I have a plan. This is what is going on here, but this one's a little different. And then he's brought forth. He's like moved ahead. This goes with what he says in the New Testament, that everything was made by him and for him. Okay, that's where he was brought forth. In other words, he's being lifted up. Okay, Christ is being lifted up here. All right, I was brought forth. I was brought forth. Remember, that book that we talked about, Revelation, in reference to Christ, was made before the foundations of the world. Okay, when there was no foundations. Okay, this is where they made the book. The Father made the book with all the people's names that Christ was going to be sent to die on the cross for us. Remember in John 3:16, for God so loved the world that He sent His only begotten Son, that whomever believed in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. Remember, Christians know that verse by heart. So this is why He was brought forth, given the plan. He said, "I'm going to send you, and you're going to create all these things." Okay. For example, the Father prepared the heavens. Remember, this is Jesus talking. So it goes from I to He. So this is I. The I is Jesus, and the He is the Father. He prepared the heavens, and I was there. He drew a circle. This is wonderful. He drew a circle in the face of the deep. Um, and I'm going to put a reference to that. You're going to see it. It's beautiful. It's the earth in the face of the deep. The deep is space. Okay? But anyway, so the Father drew a circle. He basically said right here, you know? And that goes against all the ancient alien guys and all that stuff. I mean, we are special, you know? Okay, so what did the Father do? Let's go back to what the Father did. He established. The Father strengthened. The Father assigned. Okay, so that the waters would not transgress his command. Okay? He marked out. Okay? And this is one of the most amazing verses of the whole Bible. Then I was beside him as a master craftsman, and I was daily his delight. Okay? So remember, he was the Father, and then I was beside him. I was beside the Father. That's what he's saying. I was beside the Father as a master craftsman. And what does a master craftsman do? He makes stuff. Okay? So what happened here was that Jesus made the whole universe and everything on it according to the Father. Okay, let's go back. What did the Father do? The Father prepared. The Father established. The Father strengthened. The Father assigned. The Father marked out. Okay? So if the Father did all that, this is before creation, and now that we have an understanding of what happened before creation, those that had a plan, the Father brought Jesus forth, elevated him. You're gonna make all this for you, okay? Remember, he says that in I think it's in Colossians that everything's made by him and for him. Colossians 1:16, everything's made by him and for him. So this is where he is, he is actually brought forth. In other words, be lifted up, okay, for us. And not only here, but he's also going to be lifted up on the cross, because this was what he had to do so that we can be together with him and the Father in heaven, because no one can see the Father face to face and live. We see Jesus, and Jesus in the Old Testament, physically, pre-incarnate in the Old Testament, and then incarnate to die on the cross. Okay? So this is what happened before creation. You find it in Proverbs 8. All right? And don't let nobody tell you that this is wisdom. No, sir. This is actually, you need wisdom to be able to comprehend what's about to take place. That's why he talks about wisdom first, because it's just so important now of what he's going to tell you, that if you take it to heart, it's so impressive. And then it's so simple, Like, for example, when he drew a circle in the face of the deep is outer space. Okay? The deep is outer space. And we're so special that the Father said, hey, right here, I want you to make the earth. Nothing else is given that much attention in the whole universe. So it's pretty amazing once you think about it. So anyway, that is what happened before creation. There was a plan. Nothing happens by coincidence. We're special. Yes, we are. Not only we're special in this deep universe, but there's also a book. Okay, and that book is found in Revelation 13:8. There's another place, but 13:8. The book of the life of the Lamb slain before the foundations of the world. And now you know, before creation, what the Father did. And actually, let me give you another little treat here. So now that you know that the Father, planned everything, and Jesus is just going with what the Father tells him, now you can apply that to this. So when God said, let there be light, those are actually instructions from the Father to the Son. And there was light. Okay? So this is the Father still working hand in hand with Jesus. So amazing and so simple now. I read this when I was younger and read it, and nobody tells you these things. But once you understand who it's here, it's like a play. If you go to read a play and there's no breaks of the people, and you just read it straightforward with the characters, not division between the characters, it's very hard to comprehend the play. But if you know who the characters are in the play, well, then it's easy to follow. The same thing here. So now that we know that Jesus made everything in accordance to what the Father told him to do, so when he says God made, we're talking Jesus made. And how did he make it? He made it according to what the Father was telling him to do. You see that? So anybody tells you that the Trinity is like a new concept, excuse me, no. The word Trinity may be, but Jesus and the Father are nothing new. Now that you'll see the link between Jesus making and making everything according to what the Father is telling him to do. And this is easy to see in verse, let me see here, when he's going to make man. See, we say this is the same thing. Then God said, right? Let us make man in our image. So God is talking to somebody. So now that you know that this one that's talking right here is the Father, he's talking to Jesus. And the proof of it is it's going to go from plural, let us, to here. So God created man in his own image. So now we know that God made or created man in his image, in the image of Jesus. We look the way we do because Jesus looks like this, chose this image for himself and for us. And he has another image that we can't see in his glory. But we're going to see that too. But anyway, he created him, male and female, he created them. So wow. So before creation, and now you got a little hint of creation too. But anyway, so now you know what happened before creation. Somebody asks you that, an atheist or a fellow believer, you can tell them in reference Proverbs chapter 8. It's a beautiful, beautiful chapter. And anyway, I hope that was beneficial. May the Lord bless, and see y'all next time. Thank you very much.